Welcome to another episode of Hello Again Wednesday with Brent Miller. Each Wednesday you can join in as his special guest. Answer along with question of the day. Listen to life stories. Follow him on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform. On Facebook. Or his YouTube channel, Brent Miller, What's on His Mind. This week's episode 165. Popcorn. Again. And now.
All right, I am back. It is Hello Again Wednesday, episode number 165. It's been a couple of weeks with good reason. Thank you for joining me tonight, though, because it has been a time where I've had sick a little bit. It just kind of knocked me down and major back problems as usual. I do see a neurosurgeon next Tuesday to plan things out, but it's been kind of rough trying to do 2 jobs and house stuff and just all kinds of things and just stay up. But I am back. It is Hello Again Wednesday, episode number 165. It's called Popcorn Again. And I think a while back I did one with popcorn and cartoons or something like that. And this one's just going to be a little bit different. Thanks for being my guest today, joining along with me, watching. Hopefully you're watching live. That would be great. I'm going to give you the question of the day. Now, before I do that, I'm going to tell you, talk about an unusual day. I always close out with things about church and stuff like that. And so I'm driving up to go to do Bible study at church tonight, 5:30, but I was actually heading up there around 4 o'clock, I think it was, maybe 4. Yeah, it was about 4 o'clock. And so I'm heading up there to get all set up and stuff. And as I'm getting closer, I can see the flashing lights way up there. And I'm like, man, that looks really close to church. And you get a little sinking feeling, on what it is. Hopefully my mic is on. Yes, it is. My mic is not on. Okay. Shoot. Where is my microphone? My microphone is on. Okay, yeah. All right. I just had to make sure I was on the Samson for properties. Make sure. Yeah, it is. Okay, all is good. Anyway, so I'm seeing these lights, and I'm pulling in to get some stuff for a treat for those that are coming to Bible study. And it's like, man, those are at the church. Doggone it. And sure enough, so I pull out of the grocery store, which is across the street from the church, and I turn right because you can't go up to the driveway. And so there's a lot of cars. Everyone is just mangled with just traffic. And so I finally get around the block. I cut down the alley and pull in the back way into the church. Good thing we have 2 entrances. And so I'm right there doing in the back, and lo and behold, an oil tanker, a small oil tanker truck had an accident of some sort, blew oil all over the place, not on the church, but I walk over and I see the situation. It wasn't an explosion. It was just a hazmat experience where, you got all this oil on the street and stuff. And all of a sudden I see dirt everywhere. I'm like, and the flower bed is halfway dug up underneath our sign. I'm like, what in the world? So I asked the cop. I said, hey, what's the deal with all the dirt all over, thrown everywhere? And instead of hazmat material, the fire department decided to dig up our dirt and throw it on it. Lo and behold, after Bible study, the hazmat finally showed up, and I could just hear them yelling at the people, hey, you can't just throw kitty litter on it. It's more than that. They're speaking a different language, and they're trying to understand. And finally they're told, hey, you know what? You got to do it the hazmat way. And so I asked one of the cops the hazmat guys, go, so, hey, they could be done by morning? And not to pressure them, but, we got people that use the parking lot every day. And so he goes, yeah, it'll probably be done by morning. We'll be here all night, that's for sure. And they were not happy with the situation. So I just kind of, got back in my car and took off for home and finished setting up my Hello Again Wednesday. So that was my evening coming up to this, because I wanted to do this way earlier, but it had to be this way. And so thanks for joining me on this Hello Again Wednesday, episode number 165. I'm going to give you the question of the day. What is the most unusual popcorn flavor or popcorn presentation that you've ever had? The most unusual. And so I'm just going to go rattle through a few things. I grew up a lot with a lot of popcorn. You know what? I watched and learned from my dad as a young kid how the many ways of making popcorn. All this was way before the invention of the microwave popcorn. So we're going way back, going old school. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. Some of you only know microwave popcorn. Okay. In fact, our idea of microwave popcorn ready would have been Jiffy Pop popcorn. Nothing like having a nice aluminum steel little rod like a coat hanger coming off a pie tin with corn and oilseed in the bottom of it, covered by aluminum foil that'll blow up like a big old fat aluminum hot air balloon on a hot stove. That's how we had our microwave popcorn. Obviously, completely would be restricted from kids nowadays, just like the old metal monkey bars on a hot asphalt pavement, I mean, they can't do none of that stuff like what we did. Hot hangers holding our pie tins with popcorn over a hot burning stove. Yeah, those were the days where we were, that was, in fact, to tell the truth, Jiffy Pop was expensive. We hardly ever had Jiffy Pop. It was a treat if we had Jiffy Pop. Otherwise, we made our own popcorn. Growing up with Trent, and I would find a very cool place to place a popcorn popper. We'd pull out this one popcorn popper, and it was like a hot plate, a hot plate bowl, and it had you would put it on the counter, plug it in, and it'd have a on off or whatever, and then you had you poured oil into the bottom of that little hot plate bowl, and you put your corn seeds in there, corn kernels in there for popping, and you put this it must have been like an 8 or 10 inch amber yellow plastic lid over the top of that bowl, and you waited for it to pop. And as it popped, you put a big old glob of butter on this little butter holder that had holes in it. So as the popcorn was popping, all this butter would drip down over this popcorn into this bucket of an amber bucket that was plastic, cooking on your counter. And so with that, and then what you would do after you can't do this nowadays probably because you want kids getting burnt with hot oil, but you would take it, you'd hold it, and you'd flip it over so you could use that amber bucket that you cooked your popcorn in, because it rose all and filled it all the way up, and then you'd eat it right out of that bowl. Which is funny because it had a little round lid so that you put that on that butter place so you wouldn't still be dripping butter out as you ate that popcorn. We also learned from Dad how to rough it in the wilderness, having popcorn kernels with no oil on a steel shaker over an open fire pit that looks like it could also convert this, and to describe it, it had all these holes, and you shook it over the fire, and it had a locked clamp lid. You know what it looked like besides a popcorn shaker cooker over an open fire? It looked like one of those old-fashioned what do they call it, a bed warmer that you would heat over the fire and stick in your bed in the old log cabin days. That's what it looked like. And so for many eras of being in the Boy Scouts, that's where we did it. We'd go camping and in Boy Scouts, and we would have that popcorn over an open fire. Even in the middle of winter at, I can't remember, the Klondike Derbies. we would make that popcorn over an open fire, shaking that thing. Speaking of Boy Scouts, from Cub Scouts on up to Webelos in the Boy Scouts, we would sell lots and lots of popcorn to raise money to go to good old Boy Scout camps and retreats over the summer and through the cold, bitter winters, like that Klondike Derby I was telling you about. And then growing up as an immature adult and the oldest of the grandkids on my dad's side, with grandma, a lot of the kids past me called her Grandma Dora. I always called her Grandma. They all called her Grandma Dora. Loved Grandma Dora. Loved Grandma. And I would be the first in line as the oldest grandkid to be demoted from Christmas presents or Christmas money, and because there were so many of us. And so in order to do it, that Grandma could do everyone, she came up with this idea to give, because it was inexpensive, but I loved it. It was those popcorn tins, that you'd buy at the grocery store, and it'd have a Christmas little picture on it, and it would be divided. It'd have cheddar popcorn, regular popcorn, and caramel corn. And with the dividers, they'd always still leak through and stuff like that. But it was great. I loved the popcorn tin that my grandma would give me year after year for Christmas. And you know what? And I'm pretty sure if there's cousins listening, they would all tell you the same thing. Grandma passed on that tradition of giving popcorn tins. And I miss Grandma. She was great. She was more than popcorn, I'll tell you that. I have enjoyed, because the question was, what kind of unusual popcorn or presentations have you had? I have enjoyed popcorn drizzled with chocolate. At first I'm like, really? But it's really good. Probably because I loved the sweetness of caramel corn, Cracker Jacks, with the peanuts and stuff like that. And you got the little toy in the box. I love the sweetness of the popcorn. And so I love chocolate drizzled over my popcorn. Now, I've worked at an AMC Dine-In Theater for months now, since last September. And they serve gourmet popcorn. I mean, they serve the regular traditional, popcorn in the buckets and stuff like that. But they also serve a gourmet popcorn, and which is the cheddar, the caramel, the chocolate drizzled. I think they even had special. And then they had this Hidden Valley Ranch popcorn. And I'm like, oh man, just the name, I'm not a fan of it at all. People love it though. They love that Hidden Valley Ranch popcorn. And then to me, it reminds me almost as much as the kids in high school in the old days. They loved when they had pizza on Thursday. There'd always be leftover school pizza, not pizza, school pizza, and the cooks would chop it into pieces, tiny pieces, throw it in a big old bowl, and pour and drench it in ranch dressing. And those high school kids, they devoured that pizza in the ranch dressing. That's what that popcorn reminds me of, and I really just don't. I'm not a fan. I've had people tell me that dipping your popcorn in that runny cheddar cheese is awesome. And sometimes I think, well, maybe it would be. We do sell cheese at the theater in the little cups. Man, it's expensive, and so I don't do it. I just eat the popcorn. But man, people, they say you got to dip your popcorn in that cheddar cheese, man. That is the way to do it. On the unusual side, I have heard someone order a huge bucket of popcorn and a spoon. And I'm sitting there, I heard the order, like, man, a bucket of popcorn and a spoon. I'm like, and I couldn't figure it out. I mean, is it a large spoon? Is it a little teaspoon? How many kernels of popcorn can you get on a teaspoon? I mean, what do you do? And I did not see it. I just heard it ordered that way. A large bucket of popcorn and a spoon. So, Do you have any unusual popcorn stories? Because I would love to hear them. Thus, that question of the day: what is the most unusual popcorn flavor or presentation you have ever had? Okay, I hope you keep watching. I know it's probably been, I hope you think of it as a disappointment that, oh yeah, I got a friend that I have to call. I have figured out his dilemma, and I will be calling him. Mr. Jose, I will be calling you, brother. I have answer to your situation, and so I'll call you tomorrow with that. I'm so glad when people join in. He's always blessing me, and I hope to bless him tomorrow. But hey, keep watching on Facebook. I throw it over onto YouTube and Spotify. You can watch all these episodes and join me time after time in doing this. Hey, it is past our Bible study time, but I would hope that you would go to, especially, you know what, it is so close to Easter and the Easter season and the things that the churches do throughout the week or weeks before Easter are awesome. And so go ahead and hook up with the church, hook up with a Bible study. Check out our services. I got my cameras rolling good now. I got things really going good now. I got the sound rolling good now, I think. And so our services are 10:45 out here on the West Coast. As you can see, I'm outside. My dad was telling me, I talked to him. He was in our Bible study tonight over. We did it over Zoom for a lot of people across the nation, and he was saying it was 37 degrees for a high today out where they were at. And as you can see, I'm outside. The only thing I saw was a mosquito, and but other than that, it's just gorgeous out here on the West Coast. 10:45 is our service. Join us on Facebook, Culver City Church of God Ministries, or our website, culvercitychurchofgod.org. We'll be on there this Sunday. Otherwise, join a service near you, a Bible study near you. Be with friends, laugh, eat together, meet some new friends, share some popcorn with people in the group, and always be the loving human factor at church. So, click like and share for me, will you, with this, and answer the question. Tell me your responses for these questions I have. Hope you had a great Wednesday. Most of all, thanks for being my guest tonight. And just check them all out, all right? And tell others to check them out too. Always remember, give someone a huge hello again hug, huge hello again handshake, whatever. And always, you know what? Before I go, I'm gonna let you see. I tore down the pool. I tore down yes, even with the bad back, I tore down the trampoline, and because our trampoline broke, and you can see it flat. Michelle bought a rectangle trampoline, and one of the girls, speaking of warm weather, Karina, hey Papa, she bought this sprinkler system that goes on the tramp, and it spins a spiral thing all over the tramp, and Karina asked me if I'd put that on, so I told her, hey, it's gonna be a nice weekend. I'll do it this weekend. But you can see there's also a solar panel out there that sucks in our beautiful sunshine on the West Coast out here, and then it lights up the trampoline with lights through the night. I'm doing my best to clean and stuff. It's very hard. Pray for me with my back, and the upcoming weeks, man. I got things happening. Gonna make my way to Illinois for a wedding, and we'll see how that goes back-wise. And I'll probably be on a lot of Tylenol and stuff. And then I'll let you know next. I'll let you know next Wednesday. On Hello Again Wednesday, what the surgeon says. Okay? Hey, I just wanted to show you that. But as always, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on Hello Again Wednesday.
Thanks for watching or listening to this week's episode of Hello Again Wednesday with Brent Miller. Each Wednesday, you can join in as his special guest. Answer along with question of the day. Listen to life stories. Follow him on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform. on Facebook, or his YouTube channel, Brent Miller What's on His Mind. Please join him next Wednesday for another episode.